Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I believe we are live to the critically acclaimed Pop the Trunk Podcast Hall of Fame. Recency Bias Radio. Thanos has collected all the Infinity Stones necessary to reboot his system and come back stronger than ever. You all thought by getting rid of Google Hangouts that I would no longer exist in this realm, but I have come to remind you all that the rant god always respawns, coach. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the fourth rant of the Challenge Total Madness. This one will be entitled Social Chameleon, ladies and gentlemen. Now that I have something now that I have a computer to work with now, so I don't have to record through my phone, that means all my notes can come straight from the phone, and you will get back to that retro feel that all of you all fell in love with so much, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the first thing I want to do, okay, y'all can hear me clearly, coach. I unmuted myself for a split second. I sound cleaner than ever. And here's the crazy part. I ain't even got my mic hooked up yet, and it sound this clean. Okay? So while all these other cats is BSing, I'm over here working towards the future, ladies and gentlemen, but you are here to hear my thoughts on the challenge. And of course, my name is Dave Smith, Pretty Boy Smitty, Protocol Paul, Pearl Game Ultra, Smith Dog Trail, the Rant God, Hotep Thanos, all of the above on that ISAT test, and ACT. You know what it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just witnessed a good challenge episode. I just saw a lot of stuff transpire tonight. We didn't get that much of Swaley, but I saw enough tonight that leads me to believe that Swaley are under the table working with Big T. Yes, I said it, ladies and gentlemen. See, a lot of people are going to take from this episode that Big T is working with Bananas, which she clearly seems to be. She took that power vacuum that was offered to her from Johnny Bananas and she took advantage of it by conducting a deal with the Holy Trinity Alliance, ladies and gentlemen. But the reason why I am bringing this up is because during this episode, when the Tribunal of Five was initially crowned, did you notice how happy Bailey was for Big T specifically? Now, Bear was taking it all out of proportion, and he had a lot of people rubbed off the wrong way. But did you notice how happy Bailey was for her girl Big T? That was something very key I noticed, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm peeping game. The edit is trying to make Big T seem like some clumsy girl who just stumbled into the right spot. But honestly speaking here, I think Johnny Bananas took advantage of a power vacuum that was only available to him because of a mistake Wes made during week 2. Let me explain. See, I love the fact we back on computer, coach. I can talk that hot stuff now. We eye level, baby. I'm keeping eye contact. The reason why this was such a smart move from Bananas is because if you all remember episode 2, when Jen was being targeted by D, which led to D essentially giving Jenny the shot at Jen to give her the safety. Remember, I was the one defending D, saying at the end of the day, you want to be in self-preservation mode, ladies and gentlemen. D ends up helping Jenny, and then tonight she gets her red skull anyway. So D has been completely vindicated in her move by CT being booted, 1 season removed from being a returning champion. Well, 1 season removed from being crowned champion, unless you know D made the right decision then. And then tonight, you see Nani and Maddie, they want the smoke with Ashley. As soon as Ashley is the one who is confirmed to be in purgatory, Maddie don't even want to go down there. Not this week, guys. Nani's like, I'll cut a deal with Big T to avoid the smoke. So it just goes to show all these people are cowards. You know, at least D admits it. At least D does it strategically. At least D, you know what? As long as Jen gets eliminated, I don't care who does it. At least D is wise enough to not take it too personally. Whereas these other players, they play so personally. And then when it's time for them to back up all the stuff that they are saying to people's faces, they always wuss out. And see, that's always been my problem. If you're not confrontational, don't be that way in the social game. Period. End of story, coach. And by the way, shout outs to the mighty mods. And thank you, Miss Selena. Please do not forget to like this video and share it. And of course, subscribe, family. But I started all of this because I was bringing up Johnny Bananas in the Big T situation, correct? The reason why this was such a smart move by Bananas, see, I went out of my way, and maybe I forgot to mention this in the second rant. I'm not sure. But I had notes designated in the second rant to break down why it was so confusing why Wes didn't vote with D to get out Jen and instead Wes voted for Big T. Understand, that move may have ruined Wes's pivoting power with Big T moving forward, which allowed Bananas and CT, because those two, remember, those two voted for Jen. They didn't vote for Big T. By those two not voting for Big T, they got Big T's loyalty to a degree. But because CT got eliminated by Jay, only Bananas now can claim he didn't vote for her, even though he could have, because the vets, in all likelihood, probably would have preferred Big T leave over Jen, because someone could have used Jen the same way they're using Big T this week. You see what I'm saying? So understand, ladies and gentlemen, Bananas was planting the seeds to work with Big T as early as week 2, episode 2, by not giving her a burn vote. And by Wes going out of his way to throw her a vote instead of throwing Jen a vote, I was the main person worried that maybe Wes and D will clash because of that. But as you can see, 2 weeks later, Wes is helping D in an elimination competition. So it shows they have an inseparable bond, ladies and gentlemen. They have unconditional loyalty. And I think this is the only reason why Bananas is so threatened by D. But my problem with Bananas is, look, man, he's playing both sides of the field too much. You know, I know people can argue that D made a huge mistake by admitting to the tribunal that she clearly worked with Ashley a week ago to try to get out Bananas. I can agree with you there. That wasn't the best move. But put yourself in D's head for a second. If D is trying her best to acquiesce to the wishes of people who were once opponents, the only way for her to work and mend that fence is to uh, is to is for her to be the one to offer the olive branch first. And the only way for her to be the one to offer it first is to be the first one to be forthcoming with key strategic information. She did that. Now, it may not have been the smartest move, but because she didn't get eliminated after doing it, it's not that bad of a move anymore. I know we don't want to be results oriented with how we break down moves, but understand, I think it was a worse move for Bananas to go out of his way to try to interfere with Wes helping D. Because from Banana's standpoint, I'm confused, coach. Ashley was the one driving the blind side, which almost got you slipping on the banana peel. But you're still mad at D because she worked with Ashley? And your main reason for not trusting her is because she works with Wes? But Wes is the only reason why you still in the game? I don't understand that. Can someone please explain to me why Bananas... Look, do you want Ashley gone or D gone? In my opinion, you should have wanted Ashley gone because you spent all of last episode trying to paint a target on her. And so she turned on you and she tried to hit you with your own medicine. Now, all is fair in love and war. At the end of the day, I think Bananas just sees a lot of himself in Ashley. You feel me? So, but from a female perspective, and that makes him target her. But see, in this rant, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring up several times how I don't, and look, I'm not the hugest fan of Ashley. I'm not the hugest fan of Wes. I'm not the hugest fan of nobody, really. Okay? This is only my second season doing challenge rants. But what I want you all to understand is, the hypocrisy is at an all-time level because players got rattled from CT leaving. Okay? Think about this for a second. At the end of the day, coach, everyone is mad at Ashley for going into a new season with a new strategy. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone does that. And then people are mad at Wes for helping D win a challenge when... Look at any episode from the past 10 seasons, okay? But please skip the episodes that weren't 90 minutes. I'm getting so hooked on these 90-minute episodes, I don't even want to go back to those times. But those times when they would be down there in a proving ground competition, ladies and gentlemen, how many times in the past have we seen people, especially majority of people, when they're really kissing kneecaps, if you will, when they're really... when they're really trying their best to acquiesce to somebody's wishes, they go out of their way to become bandwagon helpers, right? Where it's like a group of loyal alliance members helping you win, and then people start realizing, ooh, he's blowing him out. You know what? Let me throw some help out there too, so when this person comes back, they think this whole time I wanted them to win. We've seen this for a long time, ladies and gentlemen. So for these same people to see Wes do this for an ally he clearly was partners with 2 seasons ago, for an ally that just won season ago for an ally who everyone is criticizing for not going to compete against Jen, when in hindsight it all worked out in the long run. Okay, understand, Wes is realizing he has to have D's back 100% here. Okay, and even though Tori may have had a problem with D for choosing Jenny over Tori, if Tori was in D's position, she would have chose Jenny over D too. All right, so she can't really be that salty. But for Tori to come out of that tribunal and then tell everyone, "Oh, they're on a power trap. They're on a power trap, man." You would have thought Triple H and Stone Cold was a tag team this season. Ladies and gentlemen, no one was really on a power trip. Okay, you can argue Big T could have been on one. All right. By the way, she was looking good in them gray sweats, Coach. She looked like thick tea tonight, but that's neither here nor there. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, let's really keep it a bean real quick. Okay? They weren't on no power trip. KC has been invisible for 4 episodes, and she got included on that. Tori got a problem with KC too now. You feel it, dig me? And see, the way Casey was voting in prior votes made me think she could have been possibly working with the Holy Trinity Alliance. After tonight's episode, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. But yeah, so that's another thing I noticed from tonight's episode. A lot of hypocrisy. Everyone's mad at West for the same thing everybody else does, right? How many times have we seen Josh go out his way to help people on Banana's side last season for no reason, right? So come on, man. I mean, but I want to get into the challenge which created the tribunal tonight, because I want to unleash my hot take on the atmosphere. There's a lot of people right now, they're giving props to the team that won today, but we're sweeping under the rug the true elephant in the room here. At the end of the day, whenever you create a competition that involves an ice cold bath or an ice cold tub, listen, it's inherently giving the advantage to non-black players. Listen, y'all might not want to hear this, but it is the truth. If you were to put some of these players in a sauna with black players and say last one standing in here wins, a black player gonna be the last one to come out that thing. Almost 99.9% of the time. Now, if that was a challenge, white folks who hate Sway Lee would hate that. But then when it's a challenge, which is completely designed for only a white person to do well in. I mean, look at the majority of teams that had 2 out of 3 people in that ice tub that were not white. They suffered. They didn't even finish. That tells you in a nutshell. And coming off of CT, a Apex Vet Production pet, being eliminated by Jay, y'all gotta understand here. I don't believe in coincidences, and you shouldn't either. I got that oceanside property in Wyoming for you if you believe in that, Coach. You feel me? So understand, they created the 5-person tribunal. By the way, is it even a tribunal anymore? Is it a cincuno? Like, what do we call this? A cinco uno? Like, I don't even know what to call this thing. But at the end of the day, this ain't a tribunal no more, okay? This is 5 people. And let's keep it a bean. Production always figures out a way. And hold up, man. I just realized y'all not seeing the whole me real quick. Let me stretch this out. Yeah, I got technology on my side. Now the competition really in trouble. See, I was letting them cook with obsolete tech. Now I'm finna have the best rants and good tech. Man, listen, Coach. It's like Tom Brady getting Gronk on the Buccaneers again. You feel it, dig me? It's finna be icy. Put on a thick thermal, all right? But I forgot where I left out at, ladies and gentlemen. What was I saying, Coach? Dang, I was on a roll, wasn't I? Oh, I was talking about the ice cold competition, how it wasn't fair against black players. You got Nelson out here, almost got medevac, got sent to the hospital. This man almost got frostbite from a competition like this. And then, did you notice how when Corey and Bailey were down there, for whatever reason, TJ had a problem with them not finishing the competition? TJ, hold up, Coach. Bailey has look, if we breaking this down to an entrance exam, Bailey has aced every single test, Coach. All of the above on that ISAT test at ACT. She's aced it. So for him to be disappointed in her not doing a comp that isn't even designed for her genetic biological makeup to do well in, it just goes to show this competition was picked to make all of these players who looked very strong look weaker just because of the temperature of it all. And let's be real, the competition was a cluster because it's groups of 5, but the 2 people on teams with the 3 that's in the tub don't compete when they do. Instead, they're almost like saboteurs chopping up ice to make it colder for the opposite team. But since they're not all competing at the same time and they're taking turns, it's really weird. But needless to be said, ladies and gentlemen, if there was a competition designed around, okay, let's just say the competition was something simple, right? Let's say it's something that black folks would just go to work on, right? Let's say the competition is something as simple as basketball. Swaggy would demolish everyone in that house in the game of basketball. And people will go, this isn't fair. Why would you cater an entire competition around one person's skill set? That's what I've been saying for 2 seasons now, and people call me a race baiter hater, when in all reality, all I'm doing is pointing out how the competition last year with Jordan versus Josh was absolutely complimenting all of Jordan's skill sets. I mean, even tonight, if I'm not mistaken, Swaggy even mentioned Jordan has a history working construction. So all of these players, even the new prospects, know the fact that Jordan has certain competitions catered to him because he has a certain handicap if he is forced to use both hands equally, okay? So most people are willing to let that ride because they know Jordan is dealing with some sort of a disability. I don't want to be disrespectful by saying that. I mean, maybe that's the wrong choice of words to use here, but you get what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people are willing to let that slide because of what Jordan has to deal with. But then when you got CT given a comp that's clearly involving tying knots, which is based around his entire skill set and his challenge legacy, and then he blows a 3-1 lead, gets eliminated by a prospect. You mean to tell me it's strictly a coincidence that all of a sudden, all of these vets who are really feeling the smoke now that CT is gone, you mean to tell me it's a coincidence they create a comp a black person can't win, and then on top of that, they make it so when a white person does win it, they get to have an extra 2 people in their tribunal to pivot with? Come on, y'all. This competition was the Johnny Bananas Invitational. Let's just call it what it is, man. Can we call it what it is? Listen, Big T's team won, but she wasn't picked to go in that ice tub. You see what I'm saying? Because that team was smart. Now, let me ask y'all this question. How come those other teams didn't decide to keep their black people from going in? Because they needed them for their strength. You see that? Johnny Bananas had the perfect kind of team. He had Bear with him, a guy who's looking to impress Kayla at every turn. So he's going to be cock diesel for this. And he's from the UK. He's dealt with colder weather than we deal with in the States. This is nothing to Bear. He's the grizzly bear. After all, he's dealt with a lot of snow in his time. Okay? And who else was on that team? And then you got KC the Mute. And then you got Big T. KC the Mute and Big T. They must have been the ones chopping at stuff because Anissa was clearly on their team inside the tub. And see, that's the thing. I know what you're thinking. Well, Anissa's a black girl and she won the competition, Dave. Doesn't that kind of poke a hole through your little hot take balloon? No, it doesn't, coach. And it's a hot air balloon and I'm still high. At the end of the day, it doesn't poke a hole in it because Anissa's body type, and this isn't me no shape or form trying to fat shame. I'm just admitting when you have more mass, you have more heat. Okay? It's just that simple. At the end of the day, Anissa had the one body type out of all the black women on this show that could do pretty well in this competition. And she has the brute strength to actually assist the men in lifting it out of the water. Okay? So understand, Anissa, she isn't what's the word I'm looking for? Anissa isn't an example of of what's normal. She's someone who stands out. She's an outlier. That's what I'm trying to say, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? The only reason why she was able to do the comp as well as she did was because she had the one body type that would be conducive to doing it. And at the end of the day, she was teamed up with 2 other white men who could lift that heavy thing, and all she had to do was assist. Meanwhile, Faisal and his group, it was him, Rogan, and Josh. 3 men. And they couldn't do it nowhere near as fast as those 2 guys and 1 woman. And y'all know what I'm going to say. Josh held them back. I mean, but can you blame Josh? He spends the entire game, his entire reality TV career, he spent with a brain freeze anyway, logically. So of course you stick him in the ice tub. He ain't going to know how to think. I had to get him again, coach. I had to, coach. You feel it, dig me? And then you got Josh. Did you see the confessional tonight? He always dancing around the obvious, ain't it? Oh, man, I don't know how they doing so well in this comp. Did they grow up in an ice tub or something? Once again, this is Josh trying to hide the truth from the people. The people know the truth. They did well because they ain't black. But because Josh, his entire social media reality TV career has been so anti black, he can't jump on code and keep it 1,000, take the red pill and get Hotep. He can't do that in that confessional. So instead, he makes it seem like, oh man, these people were just meant to win this comp. That's how he labeled it. But understand, that's what people who work with production vet pets say in confessionals to back up stuff to make it look less rigged. You man, maybe I'm a few miles ahead of everybody. I don't know, man. But I be reading between the lines on this type of stuff, man. You feel me? When you use Josh as the mouthpiece to give these folks more credit than they deserve for doing a competition, when y'all know dang well if CT would have never got eliminated by Jay, this competition is probably completely different. The tribunal is probably stuck to 3 people still. And probably Johnny Bananas isn't able to manipulate Big T in the same fashion because it isn't an extra 2 people on the tribunal. But because production, but because they got nervous, and see, they got nervous last season too. Let's not act like they didn't get nervous last season. Soon as Loro got eliminated, then Bananas got eliminated. That's when all the production got their lemon booty. They got nervous, coach. That's when everything was damage control mode. Let's do a 2v2v2v2 swim contest where you can choose who your partner is. Great for a couple that just got engaged. Ding! You feel what I'm saying? So we've seen examples of them working very hard for certain teams. I'm not trying to beat a horse. I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm just trying to keep it all the way a bean with y'all, coach. And I know that Swaley didn't get much visibility, but at the end of the day, for Bailey to not even be brought up in the tribunal, for them to decide on Maddie, Tori, and D, and not mention Bailey's name once when all of them wanted Ashley gone, and Bailey was by far the best competitor from a woman's standpoint up until this point, that tells me Big T got Bailey's back. Think about it. Because Big T turned on Ashley at the drop of a dime. Same with D. But no one is mentioning Bailey's name. Everyone's excuse for not saying Swaggy's name is they don't want to make Bailey mad. But no one ever said why they want to target Bailey. You feel what I'm saying? I know it's easy for us to just say they're scared of Bailey, but let's give Bailey some strategic credit here. And let's admit that she's clearly working with someone in that tribunal outside of Big T, and it's probably Casey as well that kept her safe. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Even though Casey is a mute this season, even though it's not very clear who she's working with based off who she has voted for, I mean, we've seen her vote for Nelson. I might be wrong, but didn't she also vote for Jay? Did she? I don't think she voted for Asaph. Yeah, I think she voted for Jay. Wasn't that why I thought she was working with the Holy Trinity? I think that's why I thought she was working with the Holy Trinity. So understand, ladies and gentlemen, her voting hasn't had any continuity. Her voting has been this side, that side, this side, that side. But with a 5-person tribunal, ladies and gentlemen, Casey clearly isn't going to do most of the talking. She's going to allow Johnny Bananas to do most of the talking. But that's why that's why it was so key for production to make sure Bear was on his team. Okay? A dude who will do whatever it takes to get some attention. And what does that do? Create an extra shield for Johnny. On top of that, you got Big T there, who everyone would have probably voted for if she was available. It probably would have been Big T versus Ashley. Let's be honest. This was heaven sent for her to be immune from being thrown in purgatory tonight because she's been the person getting the second most votes after Jen. So she dodged a major bullet here, and hopefully she can use this moving forward to not get voted for later. But we'll have to pay attention to that moving forward as well. But yeah, so you got that situation with her as well. So let's get into some of these notes now. I gave y'all a clean opening free. I gave y'all a clean one. And I ain't gonna lie, I like this new setup, man. I like this new setup, man. Yeah, y'all can see everything now. You feel it? Bruce Lee. Oh, snap, wrong hand. Bruce Lee in the cut still got my back. I know the mighty mods out here getting it cracking. All right, let's see what I missed mentioning. Something I didn't mention yet. Rogan plans to not play a vengeful game to avenge CT. he plans on taking CT's advice of waiting for the opportunistic moment to get revenge, not going for it immediately. Remember, the last rant, I was very worried how Rogan would take this L. I mean, I saw a picture of all the reactions of all the people after Jay beat CT, and one of them is Bear and Rogan, and you know Bear and Rogan really don't like each other. So for these two dudes to essentially embrace each other in shock of what they just witnessed, it just goes to show how legendary what Jay did really was. And tonight, Jay was very dominant in that ice tub competition. And I might be mistaken, but wasn't it Jay and two women? I mean, they was killing it, weren't they? They deserve a lot of credit. But once again, this competition was created so someone with Jay's complexion could perform well. That doesn't mean he doesn't deserve credit for performing well. You still got to have a certain pain threshold to deal with the cold, no matter what race of person you are. And I'm not trying to dismiss that. But at the same time, for a black person to have zero chance of winning this comp, when Swaley have been so dominant, I can't help but connect the dots here. The production didn't want Swaley to have too much clout too soon. That's where I'm coming from on this. Especially after they made a deal with CT and CT gets eliminated. You feel it, dig me? And that may be the reason why Bananas didn't want to target Bailey as well. Maybe he respects the fact that they allowed CT to put himself in to compete against Jay, knowing that they were working with Jay and they still allowed that to happen. Now, granted, if you're going to throw yourself in, I don't think the other two members of the tribunal have a say in that. I think you could just volunteer. I don't think majority matters at that point. But at the same time, though, I think Bananas to a degree respects them for that. I think Casey has a connection with Bailey to a degree, some type of agreement. They won't target each other early. And then Big T appears to be a good friend of Bailey's off the screen. If you watch some of these scenes of these first few episodes, there's always something with Bailey and Big T in the cut laughing. That's very key. I mean, I was the person who pointed out how Bailey was close to Holy Trinity low key. So, peep game. All the women in this game seem to respect Bailey, but they all seem to have a problem with each other. And if I were to say that to you, coming out of all the PTSD we have from Big Brother, if I were to tell you Bailey would be allowed to be herself, be competitive, and no one would be jealous of her from a female standpoint, you would be shocked. And I'm still a bit shocked, but it's a testament to the social game her and Swaggy are pulling off right now. When the only person who has a negative thing to say about you in 4 episodes is Anissa, that means you're playing well. Because Anissa had a problem with Bear and Kayla tonight. So it just goes to show, Anissa's just hating on any heterosexual relationship right now. I mean, that's just what it looks like, Coach. Now, I might be reaching a little, but it just feels like every episode she comments on another couple she don't like. Don't it feel like that? Hey, but those are my thoughts on that. All right, by the way, get your questions ready, ladies and gentlemen. I will be answering them pretty shortly. Give me a second. Oh, Ashley made an alliance with Maddie that completely crumbled, but I have to lay the groundwork. So essentially, this is right after Anissa was hating on Bear and Kayla. Bear decides to impress Kayla. He gets a fire extinguisher. He unleashes the forbidden jutsu and just sprays and prays all over Nani. That sounded so bad, but that's why I said it that way. But yeah, he sprays it. Nani's in that room. Who else was in that room? Ashley, of course, was in that room. I don't know who else was in that room. I can't really remember, ladies and gentlemen. But all that needs to be known is Bear made it his goal to not spray that in Swaggy and Bailey's room. He knew what would happen if he sprayed that in the black folks' room. You feel it, dig me? If he would have got any of that fire extinguisher stuff on they blanket, it would have looked crazy, Coach. It would have looked crazy. You feel it, dig me? He would have bleached that whole thing with that thing. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so he fires he uses the fire extinguisher. He shoots it. This essentially makes all of the women angry. This sparks an angry and fiery Ashley. She spits in Bear's face. Then all of a sudden, Maddie is like, dang, I just aligned to you 2 seconds ago, but now I don't like you. And it's like, wait, what? So then they have this back and forth where Ashley is she's essentially I don't want to get demonetized. I don't want to say that. Well, she's slut shaming. Okay, I said it. I said it. Hopefully you heard it. Okay, that's what she was doing. And if you know Ashley's past, it's pretty funny because ever since Ashley won a season of the challenge, she has gone out of her way to essentially shun a lot. Well, not shun, to essentially throw shade at every woman who is having a good sex life. She goes off on all of them, and I don't know why. I mean, if there is a such thing as Eskimo brothers, I don't know why her and Maddie so mad. They're Eskimo sisters. Didn't both sleep with Kyle? I mean, and isn't it so fitting for an episode with an ice tub? Dang, I should have called it Eskimo Sisters. I missed my moment, coach. I missed it. You feel me? Dang, Eskimo Sisters. See, that's just proof I could come up with something off the dome. It's just what it is. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, so like I said, uh, she spits in Bear's face. Maddie gets mad because she's like, someone spits in your face. That's like punching you in the face. I don't like that. And I'm thinking, does Maddie have a crush on Bear? What's going on here, coach? You know, is she aligned to Bear? Like, part of me is already thinking she's somehow aligned to Kyle still. It seems like whoever Kyle sleeps with, he's aligned to somehow. I mean, kudos to you, coach, because you on your 50 Cent stuff. You feel it, dig me, coach? Like he on his 50 Cent action. You feel me? He just looking for his Vivica deep down. All right. But yeah, so it seemed like everybody who Kyle hooks up with, he has a good relationship with in future seasons. And that's a testament to his social game. You know, it's not easy to smash and dash and still have them wanting to attend your class. You feel it, dig me, coach? It's just not that simple. Sometimes you end up with a rash. All right, let me stop rhyming. But anyway. So like I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, this sparks an argument between Maddie and Ashley. They just start going at it cat style. Maddie is low-key holding her ground, and clearly Ashley don't want none of that smoke, but Ashley essentially does what Jordan did to Turbo. She tries to tug at her emotional heartstring and get her to blow up and get into a rage blackout of sorts. She knows that she got kicked off of, what is that show, Floribama Shore? She knows she got kicked off that show. She knows she basically quit a final in War of the Worlds 1. So she knows mentally this girl can be broken if you push the right buttons. Ashley attempts to press those buttons. Maddie doesn't go for it. And what I noticed was Johnny Bananas, of all people, was going out of his way to help try to protect Maddie. And then that's when I start thinking, is Bananas got a pregame alliance with her? I'm just reading pregame alliance, pregame, based off how everyone's reacting to this fight. Because in theory, you would not protect someone during a fight unless your win conditions are reliant on that person staying in the game longer. Otherwise, you won't let them fight because whoever get eliminated, maybe you ain't got to go to purgatory, right? Especially if it's two women fighting. In theory, TJ, if it was going to be a fight and one got evicted or eliminated, in theory, there may not have been a competition to decide who went home. They may have just went to a guy's elimination week. So, you know, so from Banana's standpoint, I see why why he helped Maddie, because he didn't want Ashley to get a free out to avoid this smoke. But if that's Banana's way of thinking, it makes no sense for him to hate on Wes trying to help D when him helping D is just assisting Bananas and getting Ashley out. You see what I'm saying? See, somewhere along the way here, either production didn't tell the full story to make sense out of why Banana still doesn't trust Wes after Wes saved his life in the game, because at this point, you should trust Wes. And we don't see no confessionals from Wes saying, oh, I voted against Big T 2 weeks ago, and now Bananas is working with her at the club right now, trying to get her to work for him. I'm a little worried about that, because Big T should want to target me. All we're seeing is Bananas talk about him being worried about D. And I'd argue if D didn't win the title, I'd argue if D didn't win Challenge 34, I'd argue Bananas wouldn't even be that scared of her. But see, that's what I say. Once you get that one win under your belt, you have a certain... Nothing really scares you the same no more. And that's why I didn't make a huge big deal out of her not going down, because the risk just wasn't worth the reward at the time, especially now that we know a red skull does not guarantee you make the final because you can be thrown back in. At least now, D is a red skull, but she didn't piss off Jenny to get it. Okay? See, that's very key. Because she could have made an enemy out of both of them, chose neither one, got a red skull, and then somewhere near the final, one of them challenges her because they don't have one. I want revenge. That type of thing. It's very possible. But yeah, so I think D does, even though she made some misplays tonight, I think in the end, she made up for those misplays because she made some good plays. I mean, the way she abandoned Ashley at the right time, very smart. Big T technically didn't really abandon Ashley until Johnny Bananas really gave her the the right of way to, basically. But D was prepared to do it from the get go. And that is truly the difference between a descendant of West versus a descendant of Bananas. A descendant of Bananas is so reliant on Bananas carrying the weight. What is it they say about what I think they said this about 50 Cent. I don't want to keep mentioning one guy, but I think they said I believe the quote was he likes feeding his people, right? Nothing's wrong with that, but people with that type of personality are often too cynical and they're often too full of themselves because they don't even want you to eat if they ain't the one responsible for it because then they can't hold nothing over your head. I feel like that's Banana's game to a degree. And even though he might have a problem with Ashley's implementing of her strategy, understand her strategy is just a female variation of what Bananas has done. So, in my opinion, once again, if you're going to have a problem with that, you need to have a problem with yourself. And that's the problem. I see a lot of people not really bringing up the hypocrisy in some of these things. Um, so yeah, so so at the end of the day, like I mentioned, uh, the Maddie Ashley argument turns into essentially Nani arguing with Maddie, which made absolutely no sense because last season Nani wanted to fight Ashley because Ashley manipulated Turbo into almost fighting Jordan. Doesn't this show Nani came up with that as an excuse and she doesn't really care about Turbo? Because at the drop of a dime, she had Ashley's back. And in theory, she shouldn't have had her back at all. Now I get it. Y'all both got that ooze from that fire extinguisher sprayed on both of y'all. So y'all both feel like peas in a pod right now. But y'all should hate each other. You feel me? So for Nani to go out of her way to step to Maddie when it wasn't even a battle for her to fight, that implies to me that Ashley had to be working with the Holy Trinity deep down this season. And maybe that's why Bananas was so mad at her, because he saw she had an opportunity to make the end with the Holy Trinity if she was allowed to float a little longer. Because think about it, if Big T was a number, if she did have D on the side, right? And then if she was able to secure Maddie as a loyal third, I mean, we're talking about a group of 7 women here if they align with Holy Trinity. And then when it's a male elimination week, knowing that the women were the ones to jump on Code against Bananas a week ago anyway, Bananas couldn't risk all of that. And that's why he went after Ashley, which I won't knock him for. I only knock him for his problem with Wes helping D. So, yeah, that's how I feel. But yeah, I think I pretty much broke down. Oh, I didn't really break down the comp itself that D went up against Ashley in. So essentially this comp, if any of y'all have played NBA 2K, right? You ever go to the wheel inside the little casino in NBA 2K20 neighborhood and you hit the wheel and you're hoping for some free VC because everything pay to win and you wind up with something bad like let's say your team Adidas and they say you get some Jordan apparel and then you do the Homer Simpson dough because you realize I can't wear that. I'm going to lose money wearing that. It's almost a similar situation to that. It was like one of them wheels from Wheel of Fortune, but, vertical wheels. And essentially, you spin the wheel, it gives you a symbol. You have to go and crack these pots that are hanging from some rope. And out of the pot comes some sand and an object. You have to match it with it, kind of like Pictionary in a way. And then you have to order all of the challenge seasons in order, and you have to essentially know the history of the game to complete this challenge. Here's another problem I got with this challenge. This was another challenge designed against someone to fail, okay? And we know production definitely likes Ashley more than D right now. We know that for a fact. Ashley she's just great TV, right? She's drama, she's all around. So, of course, they would value her more than D, even if D is coming off a win. I mean, we saw them value Jordan more than Turbo when Turbo came off a win. Okay? So we've seen this, right? And I'm sure this is going through D and Rogan's mind, and that's why they were so quick this season to align with only vets, because they wanted to work their way in with the production vet pets. Okay? So understand, that's why Rogan followed CT around like a puppy, like a lost puppy. That's why D went out of her way to help Jenny. That's why D is trying to work with all of these other pets. You know what I'm saying? That's why D is trying to abandon Ashley when all the women don't like him. Because more and more women are starting to notice that the women with the real power in this season are Holy Trinity. The only way to get on the Holy Trinity's good side, especially right now, is to probably be against Maddie moving forward. So that'll be very key to peep game on who's going to go for Maddie to try to earn their way into that alliance. The same way I'd argue D went after Ashley tonight to try to work her way into Wes and Banana's alliance. So that'll be something for us to pay attention to as well, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, so the purgatory comp essentially, D is blowing Ashley out of the water. I mean, I think it got to a point where Ashley even admitted that one of her symbols was stuck in the sand, and she forgot where it was, so she could never finish it. Well, anyway, D is ahead in this competition. She's blowing her through the water, but because D grew up in New Zealand, they don't have the challenge in New Zealand, so she didn't watch any of these previous challenges, so she doesn't know the order. This leads to Wes, the mastermind of all masterminds, asking her what the names are and just telling her the order right off the dome. He knew the order, you know. And I would expect nothing less from Wes, but I mean, this was truly dope to see. And for Bananas to have a problem with it, I was very confused. For all of these people in the house to boo it at the same time simultaneously, it's like, what are y'all booing for? Like, all of y'all voted for Ashley. Ashley went in because of the house bunker vote. So why are y'all mad she's about to leave? Like, this tells me the majority of players are just going with the momentum each week to lay low a little longer because they know the game is more difficult. I don't mind that, but for them to act like that they were aligned to Ashley right before she gets eliminated, understand that was politics for future seasons. I mean, you even saw Kyle go up to Ashley right before the elimination, and he was like, "You got this. You got this. You're strong. Don't let them see you weak." And like I mentioned before, he keeps good relationships with all the women that were his prior dips in the past. But yeah, so at the end of the day, D essentially washes Ashley in his comp. And if I'm being honest with you, I thought Ashley was gonna wash D here. Y'all know I'm very anti-spoiler. I thought D was gonna get washed. I was worried that people were gonna say, "Ha ha, she should have went in and faced Jen." But the fact that she took out Ashley, another former winner, in my opinion, her Red Skull holds more clout than Jenny's, and and you can't be mad at the results if you're a D fan. So that's my thoughts on that. So essentially, to recap, y'all, Ashley is being villainized for stuff everyone does each season. Wes is being villainized for stuff people do each season. Meanwhile, the people villainizing them get to escape all criticism when they do the same exact thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm ready to answer questions, Coach. Let's get it cracking. I hope you all have enjoyed the freestyle and the notes. But it does appear we will have a challenge tomorrow next week where someone will get injured. That will be very interesting. I have no idea who that person will be, but man. It looked like they got hit with a body slam. Like I thought Corey Wharton was in that competition. By the way, Corey, you've been dirty macking, coach, man. I ain't gonna say no more than that, but you know what I'm talking about, my guy. You've been a social chameleon yourself, coach. You Villa dig me. You've been hiding it. Let me stop though. All right, man. I'm fooling right now. Man, can you blame me though, coach? Can you blame me though? And please let me know if you all are if this broadcast didn't have any hiccups or anything. I wasn't listening to the playback this entire time. Hopefully y'all didn't get hit with any of those lags and stuff like that. I tried my best to make sure that even the most sharp of production can no longer sub-zero Thanos anymore. So hopefully I can't be sub-zero no more. I'm on the Scorpion side of the game. I'm telling all the production pets get over here so I can get it cracking. You feel it, dig me, coach? Who threw D into elimination from Nagate? The person who threw D into elimination was the tribunal. They all voted for D. They all jumped on code, voted for D, threw her in, and she went ahead and blew Ashley's waves back. I mean, she took her out. Miss Marley Jones asked a question. What do you think about the BB20 crew? I think KC is a complete waste of space, but if she pushes Bailey deeper into the game, I don't mind it. I think Faisal is performing exceptionally. He was definitely not meant to play Big Brother. He was meant for a show like this because I just think the subtle nuances of social game aren't Faisal's strong points. However, I will admit though, when it comes to a type of show where all you have to do is be a physical powerhouse and put up and shut up on a given night, I think this is 100% his specialty. And because of that, I'm very anxious to see if production tries to go out of their way to try to screw him by rigging a comp for someone else. Because in theory, you can't really rig a comp against Faisal uh, with this cast. I mean, we don't got no derails in the cut. You feel me? There's not really someone who's going to outmuscle this guy. CT's gone, and he wouldn't have um, he wouldn't have out aerobic him. He wouldn't have out ran Faisal. So and I'm noticing everyone is calling him Fessy now. That's pretty funny. I refuse to call him that in any of my rants. You can go back to all my rants. I never call him that. I just think it's a little too much moisture in another man calling another man that. But I can't knock you if you know him in person and you call him that. You know what I'm saying? I still call him Faisal. Um, but I will say this, ladies and gentlemen. Hot take. I think Nani has the hots for Faisal. I think she does. During tonight's episode, man, she said Fessy maybe 6 times. It was low key though. And she said it like 4 times during when his team went in that ice tub. She was drooling low key. You feel it, dig me, coach? You know, soon as they took that confessional off screen, they had to provide her with some tissue to wipe the drool off her bottom lip, coach. I mean, she was thirsty. I'm just keeping it a bean. All right? If he's still with Haley of Troy, Haley, you might have to come to Challenge 36 and get that smoke with Nani. I'm just saying. I ain't trying to start nothing. I'm just saying. It would be interesting, though. And I think that's the one fight Nani would take, too. Because Haley's kind of a smaller girl. That's the one fight I think Nani actually would put up and keep her word with. And that's the saddest part of it all, you know? But, yeah, let me keep scrolling and look for questions, coach. D is the only person that truly has Wes as their number one. Yeah, that's true. And honestly, after Bananas did what he did tonight, this is another reason why I'm criticizing Bananas' game. Bananas, you have to know that Wes, first off, Bananas, you owe Wes, right? I mentioned this a little earlier, but if you owe him, why would you go out of your way to go, bah, 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 why he's helping D? Doesn't this tell D moving forward you'll never trust her? Doesn't this tell Wes no matter what he does to save you in the game, you'll never truly trust him? Doesn't this kind of crumble the alliance that was built right before CT left that you have to rely on because there's no CT to pivot with? I just don't understand. See, a lot of people who are strictly Bananas fans, they won't ask these questions. But I will. And I am a fan of Bananas. But I also believe his ish stinks on here and there. Right? I'm not someone who is just going to act like it's just sweet roses all the time. You feel it, dig me, coach? So that's my thoughts. You feel me? But, yeah, I agree with you, though, man. At the end of the day, no one else really trusts Wes. I mean, the way Asaph kicked off the season, throwing Wes under the bus, and the way he just acted extra swole after, it's like, bro, you didn't even do nothing. Like, he flexing for what? You feel it, dig me? FFW, flexing for what? And Nani ate that up. She ate it all up. She probably ate something else after, but that's neither here nor there, coach. All right? That's neither here nor there. You feel it, dig me? You were letting them all cook, but they don't got the flavor you do. Hey, I appreciate that, coach. And that's another reason why I asked you about that draft companion tomorrow. You feel me? We working with different ammo. Why was everyone so against Ashley this episode? Great question, Miss Jacqueline. I don't know. Because by the end of it, they seem to be all on her side. You feel me? And then she started crying, I love you all. That's Ashley trying to implement the same strategy everyone hated at the beginning of this episode next season. She's just going to pivot all over again. That's why she ended it on a good note. Come on. They're going to allow her to do the same thing again. And Bananas is only mad this time. And you got to think about this for a second. Ashley is truly the only member from Paulie and Kara's alliance left. Think about that. That was the alliance that took down the pregame alliance that Bananas thought would be impossible to stop. So the grudge he held with Ashley was all about Paulie and Kara's alliance from a season ago. And the only reason why they all agreed on D going in is because Bananas wanted to make sure a member from Paulie and Kara's alliance last season got sent home tonight. Ding, ding, ding. You feel me? This ain't rocket science. Production and through their vet pets vicariously are still working against Paulie and Kara, and they ain't even here. You feel it, dig me? That lets you know what they did last season was legendary, man. People are still getting hit with stray bullets because of that. You feel it, dig me? I'm just keeping it a bean. Like, for real, you gotta vest up if you work with them, coach. It's crazy. It is crazy. All right, let's keep it moving. Dang, this. I'm so unused to this touchpad stuff. All right, uh, she's mad because she can't get no more from Corey. I didn't say it, you did, Miss Alita, but I don't disagree either. um, Marley asked the guys, who? Oh, okay, she already asked that. Jay Griff says Bear is doing everything for camera time, not for strategy. Yeah, you're right about that. Wasn't the first season Bear was on? Didn't he go out of his way to run up and jump on a card table when people were playing cards or not Monopoly? They were like playing dominoes or something. And didn't Bear just come out of nowhere and just jump on the table and break it? And didn't like a whole bunch of people wanted to beat him up? Like, bro, what is you doing? And I think, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that when Bear and Wes was having their problem? No. Bear and Wes had their problems a season ago. Because I think Bear eliminated Wes in the elimination, right? But something happened where Bear went out of his way to jump on a table, breaking it, and he did it strictly to just see how people would react to it. And I know he won Big Brother UK or Big Brother Celebrity or whatever, and I know that he got some clout behind him, and I know these moves did work for him in a Big Brother climate. But it's not really working that well for him on the challenge, in my opinion. And honestly, just like Jay Griff said, this is the only way he's really going to get TV because he's not in control of the game. He's not in control. And when you're not in control, you have to be a dependent player like Josh Martinez. And give Bear credit, at least he's doing something Josh can't do, and that's flirt with a woman. But that's neither here nor there. Let's keep it moving, coach. All right. Bananas has a pregame alliance with Kyle and Maddie. Oh, with Kyle, and Maddie is obviously working with Kyle. I agree. I think Kyle is in that alliance, and I think Bear is in that alliance. Because and I think Rogan's in it. Honestly, I think I think this was created by Bananas and CT, and I think they recruited people on both sides of them that would come together at the right moment, halfway through the game probably, to dominate. But because CT got taken out, now Bananas has to carry the weight and hold on to all these people. And the problem is he didn't have a connection with some of these people the way CT did, and that's why I think he tried to pick up Big T. I think he was trying to offset it, but we'll find out in future episodes, I guess. Nagate asks, do you think Wes will cut Bananas loose when the time comes close for the final? Honestly, the way they are editing this, I think Banana is more likely to cut Wes. The way they are editing this, they're kind of making Wes look like someone who's more loyal to Bananas than Bananas is to Wes. They're making it look like Bananas was loyal to CT. He was willing to work with Wes because they needed each other, and them three together would have been unstoppable. With CT gone, there's a huge chink in both of their armors, and with Johnny being so anti-D, when initially he was anti-Ashley, that level of playing both sides of the field, it's a little too close to home for CT. That's a little too close to CT's game, and quite frankly, it's a little too close to Wes's game. So for Bananas to have such a problem, and see, this goes back to the hypocrisy. For Bananas to have such a problem with how D's playing because she's playing like Wes, but for Bananas to be the one playing both sides the most, it just goes to show Bananas can play one way. If anyone else does it, he cries foul. But that's neither here nor there. You feel me? See, I'm just telling the truth. You feel it, dig me? But I am still very excited for this season. You know why? Because Swaley didn't really have any visibility. They didn't get targeted. And at the end of the day, this was truly the first test to see if their social game could stand the test of time. Because this would have been an opportunistic moment to come for a black person coming after this ice tub competition. It would have been very opportunistic. So, in a lot of ways, I got to salute the tribunal for not falling for the easy move. I feel like if this was Big Brother and that tribunal would have been the same, KC definitely would have been down with getting rid of Bailey. But because this is the challenge, it's a little different. And with that said, I think she had her back tonight. Nani definitely likes facial. I agree with you, Cohen. I think it's something me and you were peeping game on, and it's something for us to pay close attention to moving forward. I think she sees him and goes, I can stop messing with white boys now. I mean, let's be real. Asaph was kind of Faisal, the diet Faisal. You know, she was working her way to him slowly there, right? But at the end of the day, she had to settle for Asaph because Faisal came into the game a taken man. So, you know, she got where she could fit in. She tried to get that number, got eliminated immediately, sent to the Shadow Realm, coach. No Monster Reborn. Um, did you watch the reunion last season? What are your thoughts? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I was slipping on my pimping when it came to that reunion, and I didn't cover the reunion either. This season, no, we covering that reunion, coach. You feel me? Cause I got the tech to cover it the way I would want to. We finna get it cracking. We finna get it cracking. I'm excited, man. I'm really excited, man. But, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the fourth rant of the Challenge 35 Total Madness entitled Social Chameleon. What are your thoughts? Please do not forget to comment below. Do you think Ashley was targeted for the same things everyone does in the game? Do you think Wes is being hated on for the same things everyone does in this game? Why does it seem like only the people who were aligned to Paulie and Kara's side last season are being villainized for standard challenge practices? I would love to know your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, but of course, I am Dave Smith, and this is Recency Bias Radio, where no one is safe from criticism. If you could, please like, share, and subscribe, and on the right side of my page, click on that bell. That way you could be here with the most lit live chat in the Challenge Total Madness history, bar none, coach. I even brought the old outro back to let you know I'm feeling it tonight, coach. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your night. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your week. Hope y'all enjoy the NFL draft if you love your sports, and I'll see you all next week. So please be safe, be smooth, and I'll see y'all next week, man. Deuces.